Why did it take an exhausting year to fill the role of Princess Diana? How strongly did the Crown's creator, Peter Morgan, fight for his girlfriend to become the legendary Iron Lady? And why did Olivia Colman say she got the worst job in the world? Hi, I'm Dylan, and you're watching Awesome Movies. Emma Corrin as Lady Diana Spencer. For as long as The Crown has been in existence, viewers have been asking who would play Diana. Emma Corrin, who ultimately won the sought-after role, said the casting process was grueling. It was a very long process. It took about a year, I think, actually, she told the Radio Times. It was kind of quite stressful and a lot of different stages, but in retrospect, it all worked out brilliantly. Josh was actually there when I got offered the role, so he compares it to X Factor, which is probably quite accurate. Corrin believes that The Crown's success comes down to depicting real people. I think the crux of The Crown is, look at these icons, look at these figurehead who we think we know. Oh, wait, actually, behind the closed doors is all this human experience. Much like Diana, the relatively unknown Corrin has been thrust into the limelight since news of her casting broke, which has been challenging. Aside from their striking physical similarity, Corrin reportedly owns the role. She's a total natural on set, says her dialect coach William Conacher. Emma was made to play Diana. We can't help but agree. Josh O'Connor as Prince Charles. Cast for Season 3, Josh O'Connor has been credited with making Prince Charles more likable. The beloved actor, best known for the movie God's Own Country, did loads of research on the prince and his mannerisms, but he also knew he had to look at the bigger picture. I realized I had to let go of this person who exists, or just take aspects of him so that people feel safe, and focus on the idea of a young man, he said in an interview. A young man who was waiting for his mother to die for his life to have meaning. O'Connor apparently thought he had a good chance of landing the role because of what he called his prominent ears.
Ears are the first thing anyone thought of when I said I was playing Prince Charles. And it was sort of a good way into the character.
Yet it was ultimately his understanding of Charles's inner world that won him the part. The actor has a view of the prince that's different to the way he's usually regarded. By playing the character, he developed sympathy for him and his awkwardness, and also felt that there were many instances in the show where Charles wanted to explain himself, but wasn't allowed to. He's just as excited for Season 4 as the show's fans are. O'Connor told Esquire that, "The Diana stuff has been thrilling to play." He continued, "For me, that's the juicy stuff." Emerald Fennell as Camilla Parker Bowles. Enter the other woman. Emerald Fennell may not have been known to US audiences when she first entered Season 3 as the infamous Camilla Parker Bowles, yet Fennell was actually the showrunner, executive producer, and writer on Season 2 of Killing Eve. Fennell was aware that there was way more to Camilla than meets the eye. That's why she told her agent she wanted to audition for the role years before it became available. She'd heard that Camilla was actually funny and warm. "I love her," Fennell says. "I think obviously the romantic path she was on was incredibly complicated and messy, but what a joy to be the person who comes in, smoking a cigarette, having an absolute laugh that this whole thing is complete bonkers." Nina Gold said it was interesting to cast Camilla to match up with Prince Charles before finding their Diana. She also said casting characters who are very much alive was an added challenge. "We have to honor them by picking the right actor to play them. We think that Fennell's casting was just right." Jillian Anderson as Margaret Thatcher. Sex Education star Gillian Anderson, who's of course also known for the iconic series The X-Files, is an unlikely but excellent Margaret Thatcher. Although many were surprised by her casting, Anderson has already been widely praised for her transformation into Thatcher and the way in which she humanizes the woman behind the title. She was careful not to take her transformation too far, saying the important thing was not doing it so much that it ended up a parody. Did Anderson's casting have something to do with the fact that she's in a relationship with series creator Peter Morgan? Apparently both Morgan and Anderson were actually unsure that Anderson was the woman for the job. Morgan said he thought, "Oh my god, is this mad?" Yet casting director Nina Gold knew they had their Thatcher. When Morgan was unsure, she assured him that Anderson was her first choice. Once she was offered the role, Anderson took about a week to think it over, but then came back and said she could do it. Anderson was given no special treatment when it came to determining her character's story, even though her partner was in charge of the script. "For our own sanity, and actually for the benefit of the relationship, we had very clear boundaries," she says. "I'm not going to comment on the script, but you're not allowed to comment on the performance. Judging by the rave reviews Anderson is receiving, their plan worked." Olivia Colman as Queen Elizabeth. Claire Foy made the role of Queen Elizabeth her own in the first 2 seasons of The Crown. Yet, casting her replacement wasn't as difficult as you might think. Olivia Colman was the natural choice. "We always thought it should be Olivia right from the beginning," the show's casting director Nina Gold told Digital Spy. "The thing everybody loves about Claire was that she transmits her humanity in a very simple, plain, not doing anything kind of way. You just get it. We felt that was exactly the same thing Olivia does. It's not about looks, it's about a quality. This quality was a spirit that, and feeling that producers felt belonged to the Queen." Colman was excited to be asked to play the role, and said she was very uncool when she enthusiastically accepted. Colman said she felt quite a bit of pressure in living up to Foy's portrayal of the Queen, calling it the hardest part of playing the role. "It's horrendous," the actress told Entertainment Weekly. "Everyone loves Claire Foy, so I got the worst job in the world at the moment." In the beginning, she kept asking herself, what would Claire do? Not only did Colman have to live up to the actress who came before her, she also had to portray a living monarch. Yet ultimately, she found herself so immersed in the role that she forgot to play either one of them, she told CBS, laughing. With Colman, the biggest challenge for the production team was a facial feature: eye color. Colman's eyes are brown and Foy's and the Queen's are blue. Initially, she wore blue contact lenses, but that proved to be a disaster. "It made Colman seem as if she was acting behind a mask," said director Ben Karen. The team also tried to make Colman's eyes blue in post-production using CGI, but that also diminished her performance. Ultimately, they decided to keep Colman's natural color. Based on her Golden Globe winning performance, they made the right call. Her predecessor, Claire Foy's path to the role was less straightforward. She was 5 months pregnant when she was sent the script. Speaking to W Magazine, she said, "It was getting more and more ridiculous. The more pregnant I got, going in for these auditions, pretending to be the Queen of England, it was just really surreal," she laughed. Then she had to make a serious decision because while she'd always planned to return to work post-baby, the crown meant she'd be thrown in at the deep end. Yet she sailed to the finish line. Tobias Menzies as Prince Philip. Tobias Menzies was not the first or second actor approached to play the role of Prince Philip. The role was reportedly initially offered to Mark Strong and Paul Bettany. Menzies, of Game of Thrones and Outlander fame, said that the role was not even on his radar, as at 45 he was initially considered too young for it. Producers initially wanted someone in their 50s. Yet once he auditioned, everything happened quite quickly. Asked by the LA Times if auditioning was difficult, Menzies said it was quite the opposite. "I'm going to piss everyone off, but no, it was actually quite easy," he said. "Not easy exactly. I had to go and do 11 pages with Olivia Colman for the camera, but it was just one audition. A week and a half later, it was a go. I was expecting to have to jump through a lot more hoops, but it fell into place." Speaking of the challenges he faces, Menzies says playing a real person adds a layer of responsibility. This is more in a technical sense, like getting the voice and mannerisms right, but making sure you're not just presenting a caricature. The actor feels that Philip is a pretty hard person to get a grasp on. You certainly get a sense that Philip is hotter tempered than, say, the Queen. There's an energy to him. But what he thinks about stuff or what he's like as a dad is hard to tell. Yet he's quick to stress that he's playing a fictionalized version of a real person, one that showrunner Peter Morgan creates that fits into the show's storyline. Matt Smith, who played the younger Prince Philip, needed to work harder to convince Morgan that he was the right man for the job. "I'm ashamed to admit I needed persuading on Matt Smith, and then I saw him with Claire and their chemistry," Morgan once revealed. "We're very relieved he came to his senses." Helena Bonham Carter as Princess Margaret. Helena Bonham Carter was an early favorite to play Princess Margaret. It came about as the result of multiple conversations with Peter about her and Princess Margaret, said casting director Nina Gold. "There's always a process, and a lot of making sure that one hasn't failed to think of all the other possibilities, but it seemed pretty clear that Helena would be fantastic as Princess Margaret." While she didn't look like Margaret, there was something in her portrayal that was very Margaret-y, they felt. The actress had a real-life connection to the royal, too. Bonham Carter actually met the late princess at more than one posh party because one of her uncles actually dated her. "I remember once backing into her and her giving me one of her sharp looks," the actress said in an interview with The Guardian. Years later, the two saw one another at a reception at Windsor Castle. The princess recognized her and said, "You're getting better at acting." Recalling the incident, Bonham Carter said, "That was so her. She used to put people down in a sort of compliment." Thoroughly researching the life of Princess Margaret helped ease her nerves about playing the role. She read about Princess Margaret, met some of her friends, and even accessed the princess spirit when she saw a medium about something unrelated. And the medium said, "Oh yes, Margaret's here, fingering her pearls." So Bonham Carter tried to bottle her essence and even got notes on her performance from beyond the grave. It's this eccentricity that makes the actress a perfect fit for the role of a royal who didn't always meet society's expectations. As for Vanessa Kirby, she was originally cast in a much smaller role until the team realized she was their young Margaret. Her audition also almost went very wrong, because of a bad fake tan lotion she used on her ankles that made them orange. Peter Morgan was horrified. "Honestly, I think he looked at my ankles more than my face, and he said it nearly cost me the job," Kirby recalled. "I haven't used fake tan since." We're not surprised. Which character are you most looking forward to seeing in Season 4? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome!